Hi guys, this is Rusty 78609. I'm out for a drive today. This is Highway 118 North out of Alpine going towards Fort Davis. It's about 10:35 a.m. The temperature is 81 top down degrees and it's pretty nice. I'm just going to leave. I hope I haven't got it pointed up too high. That should be okay, I think. It's hard to see it from this side. But anyway, yeah, this is the road to Fort Davis. It's really a pretty drive. Again, I'm about 15 miles out of Fort Davis. I'm headed north on Highway 118. For those of you that come out to this area, this is a very scenic drive. To me, to others, they may not appreciate it at all, but it's got some nice mountains in here, Davis Mountains. Kind of desert mountains. I mean, there's not much vegetation on them and not many trees at all. A few mesquite, and that's about it. Maybe a little bit of cedar, but not a lot. But anyway, what is going on today? I did a video earlier of a bar in Alpine called Railroad Blues. It's being uploaded as we speak. It'll go up before this video. But yeah, what I'll touch on while I'm driving along here is just the pleasures of RVing and how we tend to complicate our own situation, whether it's RVing or living in a sticks and bricks home or whatever. And it's easy to do because we're constantly bombarded by advertisements, and of course technology just is continually making leaps and bounds forward. And so what you have, even though it works okay, it appears to be obsolete, so you move to the next thing and so on, like a mule or a donkey with a carrot right in front of its face on a stick. They'll keep trying to catch that carrot. So we're treated the same way, and you have to be careful not to fall into that trap. It's like the hamster wheel of life, where you're working and working and working and working and working, and you're just really running in place. You're not really going anywhere. And it's the same way with technology. I mean, you keep upgrading and upgrading and upgrading and upgrading and upgrading, and really you haven't accomplished anything other than you've spent a lot of money. And you know, for me, living in an RV, I live in a 16-foot travel trailer full-time and have for over 25 years. Not in the same trailer. This is probably my fifth or sixth, whatever, RV. And again, I complicate my own life sometimes by doing silly stuff that I don't need to do. For example, when I got to the RV park outside of Alpine, Texas, it's about 7 or 8 miles outside of Alpine, Texas, going south on 118. It's up in the mountains elevation. It's a nice RV park, very nice. They have Wi-Fi there, but for me it's basically useless because you can't really stream videos using it. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Depends on how many people are using it. As far as uploading videos, it's less than 1 megabyte per second upload, so that's not going to help me a whole lot. And so I thought, well, I'll cure that problem. I'll get me a signal booster, which I did. I got all the components, and it was a good setup. I could have made it work probably if I'd have continued to work at it. But I found out there's some limitations with these cell phone signal boosters for RVs and homes, I guess. And in a home, it'll work perfectly because you got plenty of room to put stuff. But in an RV like I've got, a 16-footer, when the instructions tell you that you got to have the antenna 20 feet from the amplifier, that's pretty much impossible. Okay, it could be accomplished, but it'd be difficult. You'd have to have the antenna way. I mean, you'd have to work at it, but you probably could make it work. But where this is leading is this: for me, in order to keep my RVing life and life in general simple, I decided not to go with the signal booster or amplifier. And the reason was I really don't need it. I mean, I can get by without it. I drive into Alpine and upload videos. It's a little awkward, takes a little more time, but what else have I got to do? All I got's time. So, but this is a pretty drive. I love this drive. And Fort Davis is a little higher in the elevation than Alpine. I don't know how much, maybe 1,000 feet. I'm not sure, could be. But it's nice, it is nice here. Pretty country. Beautiful ranches, but anyway. So I guess, I'll finish that and then we'll just enjoy the drive. In summary, even if you live in a home, be careful not to complicate an uncomplicated lifestyle. It's easy to do. I've often said we build our own prisons, and we do. Our lifestyle is the prison, and we build that ourselves. So you want to build a lifestyle, at least in my opinion, that is, has some flexibility. That you're not locked in. I couldn't do that. Of course, now here's another thing too I have to point out. I'm 73 years old, retired. I've got Social Security coming in. So, for you younger guys and gals, without an income, life is tough. I've got a fixed income, comes in every month, whether I do anything or not. I also make a little off of YouTube, and then the Amazon affiliate link in the description of my videos helps a little bit. And I don't need much. My Social Security covers all my expenses, and whatever I make off of YouTube and Amazon pays for traveling, and even though it's gone down a little bit, I don't really care. The fact of the matter is I don't need much. So on we go. This is Highway 118 north between Alpine, Texas and Fort Davis, Texas, and again, it's a pretty day. Temperature right now 81, and yeah, that's very nice because out here the humidity's low. And so that's very comfortable. Up here on the right, we'll probably pass it in just a minute or two. I may pull over and let you see it. It's an old adobe ruin that's been here for years. They've kind of maintained it. They got it fenced off so you can't get in and destroy it, because people always, for some reason, there's just a certain mindset that just is destructive. And so they've got it fenced around. It used to be you could walk around inside the little buildings and stuff, but now they've got it fenced off because people were destroying it. And that's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. Works of art, just completely destroyed because somebody was drunk or whatever. But anyway, it says historical marker 1 mile. I think that's it. But I love these old big boulders on the hill. See, this is just very similar to what's between Capitan, New Mexico, Ruidoso, and out there a lot of rocks and boulders and stuff, and it's pretty. I mean, nobody would realize this is in Texas. This is in West Texas. This is not Colorado. This is not Utah. This is Texas. And another part of the pretty drive, it's not as pretty as this though, is you go through Fort Davis, turn left, and go out towards Marfa, but it's flat. A little flatter land. There's a little picnic area, and then right past that is the historical marker. I call them hysterical markers. Why, I don't know, just play on words. Just enjoying my life, and believe me, folks, that's my plan. Again, one of these days I'm going to be you're going to see reality in my videos. They've got one on the other side of the road. We're going to take a look at this one if I can pull in at an angle where you can see it. If you can see those old adobe buildings there. There's just some walls, and I'm not sure what it used to be. If there's a car coming, and when it gets by, I'll pull over on the other side and tell you what this is. But that's an original old building that, again, they had to fence off. Let me pull over here and I'll tell you what this is all about. There's a marker here. This says ruins of the ranch home of Manuel Musquiz, a pioneer who settled here in 1854. Abandoned due to Indian raids, the deserted building served as a ranger station intermittently 1880 to 1882, while the country was being cleared of Indians and bandits, and that monument was erected in 1936. And now we'll get back on the road, and away we go to Fort Davis. But yeah, there's a lot of old historical stuff. But yeah, this is the fort's road out here. I mean, this is the part nearly the end of it here. But you got Fort Davis, you got Fort Mason, you got one in Burnett, Texas, an old fort. So what they did, the federal government built all these forts out here to help protect the settlers that were settling here. And the reason they wanted the settlers here was to keep Mexico from coming back in and taking this away, because they wanted population here, just like they wanted population in the Oregon, Washington state area to keep the British from coming in and claiming that land. And so they gave people free land. I mean, it wasn't their land to give away, but it's a pretty neat deal, huh? You don't own it, you don't have any deeds to it, but you know, hell yeah, we're the federal government. We'll just give it to people and they can go out there and live. I mean, you give away land you don't even own. Well, every government does that. Every colonial type government does that. Isn't that interesting? First you civilize, then you Christianize, then you utilize. Goes a double wide home somewhere. Fort Davis, Texas. Been here many times. I mean, I haven't been here in several years, but I used to come out here quite a bit. I was certainly attracted by this pretty country and the climate year round. I mean, even in the wintertime, they get a dusting of snow in here. Fort Davis gets more than Alpine, but not much. I mean, they certainly don't need snow plows and that stuff. Then you don't have to shovel snow out of your yard and all that crap, because it's just an inch or two or three maybe. Climbing these mountains here. There is a Texas State Park near Fort Davis called Davis Mountain State Park. Nice state park. I don't know what kind of cell phone or anything like that they have, but it is a pretty place to stay. And they also have it's called Indian Lodge, and it's right near the state park. It's a hotel motel thing that it's an old lodge. It's got big 14-inch thick walls and stuff, an old original building that they've restored and made a motel out of. And they also have a nice restaurant there. I've eaten there. It's okay. I mean, but there's not many choices in the Fort Davis area. There is one place used to have barbecue that was pretty good. Something else they have out here in this area, they have a lot of greenhouses. On the road from Fort Davis to Marfa, on the right side of the road, as you go along, you're going to see a lot of big, huge greenhouse buildings that are growing tomatoes and all kind of stuff. Must be very profitable because there's a lot of them. But anyway, this is a beautiful drive. I mean, you come right over the mountains, and now we're into the flats, or flatlands, and Fort Davis is probably, I'm guessing, 5 or 6 miles ahead. And when we get to Fort Davis, I'll end the video, and then I'll do another one driving around the town, and that will pretty much have done Fort Davis. I'm not going to drive out to the McDonald Observatory. It's a pretty good drive out there, and you got to wind around through the mountains. It's another really scenic drive. It really is scenic from Fort Davis to McDonald Observatory. It's probably take you half an hour to get there from Fort Davis, maybe a little less, but about that, because it's a windy road, and if you want to enjoy the drive, you want to stop at some of the overlooks and look around and see the pretty scenery and peace and quiet, and enjoy the flavor of the mountains. The state park is pretty. I mean, there's not much I could show you there anyway. As far as the Indian Lodge, that's okay. There is a fort in Fort Davis, and it's kind of I can't remember. It's a national or something, a landmark or whatever they call it. They do have some RV parks in Fort Davis, but they're expensive because they got a lock on the market and they got a good climate in the summer. So put the hay in the barn while the sun is shining. If somebody will pay you $400, $500, $600 a month to be here in a nice climate, get it. That's what you call good business. steady she goes. For me, of course, I can do this again because I'm retired. But having nowhere to go and all the time in the world to get there kind of lowers your blood pressure. But when I was younger, I have to tell you, when I first started RVing, I was in a rush. I was. I don't know that I made reservations. In fact, I'm almost sure I didn't. I would just appear. But I don't know. I guess I was just kind of still in that regimentation phase. When you leave the workforce into sort of a retired lifestyle, you still have that. You still have that punctuality. Like be there at this time and leave at this time. When over a period of years, I've kind of, for me, progressed to no timetables, none. Now we're coming into Fort Davis. The little town is right up here straight ahead. Hope you're getting this okay. Should be fine. The lighting is okay. Speed limit 45 and I'm going 47, so we'll slow down. It's really a nice little town, but the property around here is not cheap. And the reason is good climate year round. There's a cafe and a yard sale and all of that stuff. If I need, that's another thing. For me to go shopping is really an exercise in futility because I don't need anything, and I actually don't want anything. I'm fine. Drinking my green tea. I've already finished my dark chocolate almonds. Okay, so we kind of hang to the right here. If you stay to the left and go on 17, that goes around to Marfa, about 25 miles. But this way right here, you'd go around to the state park, and if you went straight, you would end up in Balmoral, which there's a little state park there. If you there's a Y out here, you'd take the Y to the left and go to the state park. There's a hotel on the right. You're not going to be able to see it, but it's called the Hotel Limpia. It's an old hotel similar like to Holland. There's one here on the left called Limpia West, and then there's one called the Harvard Hotel. It's kind of a little resort-like feel in the downtown area there, and that was it. We just passed through it. That was it. Yo. Have I ever stayed at any of these hotels? No. There's a campground here on the left. Let me see if I've got the camera. I'll kind of straighten it out a little bit. Yeah, it's called the Overland Trail. It's not cheap. I think it's $450 a month and $35 or $40 a night. And there's Lupita's place. I've actually eaten there. Got a very good hamburger, or did. But we'll go on through. I'll end the video. We're up here at the Y, wherever it Y's off to go to left to the state parks and stuff, and right to Balmoral. I think the population of Fort Davis is probably under 2,000, I would think, in that range. Not a whole lot here. I think they've got one little grocery store. They got one. As far as I know, they've only got one gas station. They may have more. And you got to know that when they don't advertise the price at the gas station, that's not a good sign. I take it back. There's another gas station out here on the right. It's right by a little grocery store. That's right. They have two little grocery stores and two gas stations. But it is scenic. It really is. Off to the left is the old Fort Davis. I may zip in there and out right quick if I can. Yeah, it's called Fort Davis National Historic Site. Let's kind of buzz in here for a minute. I'll end the video here then. Yeah, it says it's open 8 to 5. I'll get in free anyway. There's no charge, I don't think. It's just some old buildings. It's kind of like Fort Stanton near Capitan, New Mexico, only it's not as old. The buildings aren't, I don't think. How long is this gone? About 2 hours? That's gone a while. Let me get up here and we'll end the video. 20 minutes is a lot. But from Fort Davis, guys, this is Rusty 78609, just chilling out this Saturday because I'm thinking about going back to my home base sometime next week. What day, I'm not sure. I don't have a real plan. I never do. Loosely, I have a plan. I have a plan of going back. Okay, now what day just kind of doesn't matter. So anyway, this is those buildings there. That's part of the old fort, and then there's some other old buildings out behind it. And I'm gonna pull over here and end the video while y'all are looking at that and that mountain behind. Anyway, guys, from Fort Davis and whatever I called this, Fort Davis something. Thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye bye. Buy whatever you want, but if you think about it, use the link to Amazon products in the description of my video. And for those of you that don't know how to use it, all you do is you just go to the description of my videos, find that link and click on it. And when you go to Amazon, it'll take you to Amazon, do your shopping, check out, and I get a small commission, and it does not cost you 1 penny. What else? Drink plenty of water, take deep breaths, breathe in and out deeply. Why? That relieves stress, stretch, walk. I've done that. Keep your health, and then you'll want to get out and do things. And, you'll enjoy your retired years much better if you have your health. Anyway, guys, adios. Bye-bye.